Hey, it's Joe Amoia, and I've got a question for you. And that question is, have you ever wondered why some relationships fail? Well, what I've actually found is that there are actually three common ingredients that all relationships and fail have in common. So I want you to check this out. The first one is not having clear boundaries. What I often find is that people who say they want a successful relationship or they say they want a certain kind of guy aren't clear in their boundaries. Or they say that they want something, but then they put up and tolerate with something else. So whenever I work one-on-one with a client, what I always ask them to do is get crystal clear. What is it you want? Do you want a relationship? If so, what do you want that relationship to lead into? Do you want a certain type of guy? If you're going to spend the rest of your life with someone, if that's your goal, who is that guy? What specific qualities and characteristics must he absolutely positively have? Because if you're not clear, you're going to take anything that comes along. Think of it kind of like fishing. Say you want an Alaskan salmon. Okay? Well, there are certain things you need to do to find that salmon and to recognize that salmon when it comes along. Now, if you just take any fish that comes along, you might like it in the beginning, but also you're going to realize, oh, this is crap. It doesn't work for you. Okay? So first thing is you got to realize is you got to have a clear goal, a clear destination. Okay, you got to be 100% clear. And so that's the first reason most relationships fail. The second reason is for poor communication. What you have to understand is that there's a huge difference between what a person says and what the other person hears. Okay? When we hear things, we often hear things through our own filters, and it works the same way for others. So very often we think that people should understand what we're saying or understand what we're doing, and that's not how it works at all. Just because you talk at someone and you say what you think you mean doesn't mean that you're a good communicator. Just because you're direct and you tell a guy that he sucks or he's a butthole, okay, doesn't mean that you're a great communicator. And conversely, if you don't say what you mean and expect a man to get inside your world, to get inside your head, probably not going to happen. So I find that the majority of problems and why relationships fail are due to communication problems. And the third reason that most relationships fail is because most people aren't honest. Now, there are two people to be honest with. First and foremost is the person you're in a relationship with. And I find very often people are afraid of being honest and saying what they mean or what they feel because they're afraid of what the other person will say or what the other person will do. Or they're also afraid that if they say or do what is true for them, they're afraid of the possible consequences. So it's a lot easier just to not say anything. And it's really, really common for women, unfortunately. And the other person that you need to be honest with is, you guessed it, you. Because see, I believe if you can't be honest with yourself, well, how the hell can you be honest with someone else? And again, this is almost for the same reasons. Because, if we're honest with ourselves and we admit that, this guy's a jerk, the guy has no integrity, the guy isn't treating you with respect, the guy isn't treating you with in the way that you know that you deserve or desire, then you're going to have to make choices. You might have to be alone, or you're afraid that you might not find somebody else or somebody better, whatever it may be. So I want you to go back and watch this again and really look at these three reasons and really check in with yourself. Take some mirror time and go, which ones are part of your patterns? Which ones do you have a history of doing or not doing? And see what you need to do to create the relationship you ultimately desire. So I'd love to hear from you. Which one, which two, or which three of these criteria do you have? Because, as I've said many times, is the only way to get better answers is to start asking better questions. And so that's the purpose of this video today. It's to really help you to understand why most relationships fail, because if you understand why they fail and you learn to do things differently, that's when you get the results. So I'll see you next week. Have a great week. God bless.